Okay, we're going to start out with some compound butter for our garlic bread, which is going to be the side for our dish we're about to make. I started with a stick of butter that I left out for about 2.5, 3 hours so it'll get nice and soft so we can work all this in. I'm going to start here with some minced up basil. This is just some rosemary. And this is parsley. Some thyme. And a hefty amount of cilantro. This is just some minced garlic. I just used the can, it was easier. And you're going to mix all this up so you don't have any patches of either thick herbs or thick butter. You want it to be pretty evenly mixed. Okay, and as you can see, everything's pretty evenly mixed in here, making sure there's no pockets hidden anywhere else. The next thing we're going to do is get some wax paper pulled out and sit on the counter, and you're going to put that butter onto the middle of the wax paper. And we're going to roll it into itself, so that when we put it in the freezer, it will reharden in a usable stick. This makes it really easy to cook with, or do garlic bread, or even hamburgers. And as you can see, I'm going to twist one end, and then twist the other end in the opposite direction so that I can tighten it down. Get a nice compacted stick. And there it is, ready to go in the freezer for about half an hour. Okay, and now we're going to start with the scallops. I'm going to lightly dust them with some Everglades fish and chicken. I highly recommend you check it out. I can find it down here at Publix in Florida, but if you're not from Florida and you don't have Publix, you can go on their website and grab it. And I'm going to get this cast iron pan ripping hot, put some oil down on it. Typically when you do scallops, you want to sear both sides, but because they're going to go into a pasta, I'm kind of just looking to give them a little bit of color. Spread these out and get a little bit of brown to them. And now that I feel like they've got some pretty good color to it, I'm going to add about 1.5 shallot. After I've let the shallots kind of simmer down a little bit, I'm going to add about 2.5 cloves of garlic. And this is more to taste. I wouldn't put a whole lot in there if you don't like garlic. I love garlic, and so does the rest of my family, so I loaded it up. And honestly, it wasn't very overpowering. And I'm going to let all that just aerate. Get some nice flavor into the pan. Okay, at this point, I'm going to start to add a little bit of white wine. And I use some Moscato for this. It's very sweet. It comes out very sweet. You can taste it in the end product, and it's amazing. I'm going to give that a quick stir and let that simmer down for a second. And to that, I'm going to add some heavy whipping cream. As that simmers down, I added about 3 pinches of pepper and 3 or 4 pinches of salt. And I'm adding half a stick of butter to this just to give it some extra flavor. Okay, now that everything's starting to thicken up just a little bit, I'm going to add half of my fresh parsley. Some lemon zest. And mix all that up. If you like lemon with your seafood, I recommend going a little bit heavier on the lemon zest. I don't think this was enough. Last time I made this, I added almost an entire lemon's worth of zest, and it was absolutely delicious. And at this point, I'm realizing that I probably don't have enough lemon in there, so I'm squeezing some fresh lemon into the dish. Oh, I think this was a nice touch. I don't think it was as good as the lemon zest. I'm adding about 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese, pre-shredded, and it's going to melt down and help thicken this up and give it a really nice flavor in the end. Okay, so now that that is really starting to get boiling, I'm going to get ready to add my pasta, which I cooked inside, about halfway done. I did that, so by the time the dish was actually ready to be served, the pasta wasn't mushy and overcooked. And we're just going to incorporate that into the dish. Make sure we get some sauce all over that. As you can see, this is a little bit too much pasta for this, so it turned out good. I would have just added a little bit more wine and a little bit more heavy cream, and I think it would have been just a little bit better. So now that that's all worked together, I'm going to spread it out in the pan and slide it to the indirect side of the heat. It's time for our garlic bread. Our compound butter had frozen, so I put on small chunks across the bread itself. and I put it bottom side down just to heat it up and melt it a little bit before I spread it. And as you can see, I'm going to let it flare up and get some nice charcoal flavor to it. I think this really brought out the taste of the bread. And at this stage, maybe 5 minutes, that bread was down. It turned out perfect. It was crispy on the outside, but yet moist in the middle. Alright everybody, thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please comment, like, or subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next.